What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, checking out another Going Gear EDC Club Premium subscription, this time for June of 2024. Now, if this is your first time hearing about the Going Gear EDC Club, they do offer two tiers to their subscription. Your standard, which is $60 a month plus shipping, and for that they send you 2 to 5 EDC items each month, or you can opt for the premium, which is what I'm subscribed to. That one's $140 more, so $200 in total, plus shipping of course, and for that you get everything in your standard box, plus at least one additional premium item. Now, worth mentioning, the premium's just a little bit late this month. Not egregiously so, we still made it just in time for that June cutoff, but they did send out an email about a week ago explaining what happened. And so I really appreciate that. I understand, delays happen. As long as you keep me in the loop, I'm never gonna mind that. And so essentially what happened is they had a different item planned for the premium altogether. That unfortunately didn't arrive in time, so they had to throw a Hail Mary, end up pivoting to a different item. And so it will be interesting to see if we end up getting the planned item in next month's premium box, or if it gets scrapped altogether. We probably will never know unless they include that information in the letter, but definitely something that's interesting to me. But with that said, let's start with our standard items. We'll work our way up to the premium as usual. And I do already have everything unboxed. That's it for the sake of just kind of saving time, not watching me fumble with packaging. Came in especially clutch this month though, as one item did require some assembly. But we'll start with our least expensive item in the standard box, and that's going to be your thin blue line paracord keychain. And this is valued at $4.95, so definitely feels like an add-on item. If it weren't in there, I wouldn't be upset. I'm not upset that it is in there. Really not taking anything away there. Great looking. If you're not familiar with what thin blue line is, it's to show your support for law enforcement, but it's also just a great color combo in my opinion. And being able to carry this on your keychain does add the extra emergency cordage. If you had to unravel this, you could. That it is 550 paracord, so there's some internal cordage in there as well. Now, this is not a particularly large or thick keychain with complex knots, so I couldn't imagine you're getting more than a foot of cordage here, but still better than nothing if you just need to hold something together, bundle some small items. It's not going to be like a replacement if you break your bell or your shoelace, probably too short for those instances, but still better than nothing. And at $4.95, I definitely don't mind seeing this in the box. Now, next up, I'm going to break protocol a little bit. Typically, I'll work my way from least expensive to most expensive in the standard before moving on to the premium. But this month, the next least expensive item is actually an add-on item to one of the two main items in the standard box this month. And if I show it first, it will kind of spoil what that item is, at least the category of the item. So I'm going to show the main item first, then we'll go back and do the add-on before getting back into our last main item. So the item I'm alluding to here is the Simple Shot Scout LT Starter Kit. This is, of course, a slingshot. Really reputable, well-known brand, Simple Shot. They have a lot of different models, the Scout LT being one of them. And this is valued at $44.95, made here in America. This is the item that I alluded to needing some assembly. The grips here don't come installed, no big deal. You just have to grab a Phillips screwdriver and a single screw gets you those installed. Takes maybe 10 seconds once you have the screwdriver. You also have to install the straps though, and that can be a little bit more intimidating, but they give you easy instructions and a QR code you can scan to watch a video on that install process. So also pretty easy and can be done in a minute and a half or so. So nothing too crazy. The reason they don't pre-install the straps, or one of the reasons they don't pre-install them, is it ships with two different straps. And the reason it ships with two different straps is they also send two different types of balls. So we get our steel balls and our clay balls, 20 of each. So you will run through those pretty quickly, especially the clay balls because they erupt on impact if you've never used one before. They're biodegradable casings with a magnetic core, and so easy cleanup on those, but single use if you're using them on any sort of hard target. So you will run through those pretty quickly. The steel balls, on the other hand, you can gather back up as long as you don't lose track of them, especially if you have some sort of target that has a trap to keep them in. And so you can gather those back up and reuse them. Eventually you'll probably want more, but the two different bands that it shipped with are optimized for the type of ball that you go with. So if you go with the steel balls, there's a band optimized for that. I installed the band optimized for the clay balls because that's the type of ammo that I typically plink around with. Now, I love seeing this item in the box, again, $44.95, because I really enjoy just plinking around with slingshots. My collection really consists mainly of mini slingshots, also a couple of just kind of weird ones that I thought were different, but I don't have any Simple Shot yet, but I'm very familiar with the brand. I've seen it around quite a bit and know they have a great reputation. So really excited to add this one into my collection and just kind of mess around with it. Now, that gets us into our add-on item. So you may have already guessed what that add-on item is. There's not a whole lot of accessories that go with slingshots, but that's going to be your Simple Shot clay pellets. So same brand as the slingshot. I already mentioned I already use clay pellets. I use a different brand. They're a lot darker, kind of more similar to a cocoa bean, but you get 500 pieces here. They're 9mm or 3/8 of an inch. And this is valued at $8.99, which honestly seems pretty in line with the ones that I normally buy. I usually buy them in bigger packs of like 2,000 or so. And so maybe getting a little bit of a bulk discount, but it all equals out to pretty similar to what you're paying here. So that definitely seems like a fair value. And since you're gonna run through that other ammo so quickly, it's great that they included this in the pack. Now, if you add in those 3 items, we're already getting very close to the $60 we paid, but there's still one more item, and it's probably the main item in this. Also worth noting, you get a paper target in there, so you can use this for a target if you want. It has all your warnings and instructions on the back, but you do get that as well as the 2 bands and the 40 rounds of balls. And so our main item in this month's box is going to take up pretty much the whole value again. So we're basically doubling up the value of what we already have with the Well Tool T1 Pro Tac. And this is a flashlight that's available in their Going Gear exclusive colors. So I got the FDE, but it's also available in OD Green. Both of those are exclusive to Going Gear. So each box you may get FDE, you may get OD Green. Pretty happy with this one. I wouldn't have minded the OD Green either. I like both colorways, so that's great. This is running off of a 14500 battery that does come installed. However, it will run off of AA alkaline batteries as well, just with a lower output. Now this flashlight has 2 modes. I kind of consider it a 1-mode flashlight, but still really great. In fact, they were showing this at Blade Show. My buddy Chris ended up picking up one of these, so it's a pretty cool flashlight. But the main mode is your high mode. You click it one time, go right into high mode. That's 540 lumens with a beam distance of 317 yards. It also has a nice kind of spill on it, so a little bit floody, a little bit of a nice beam on there. And that's really what I consider the only mode on this flashlight. Now, I had mentioned it being a 2-mode flashlight. The reason I don't consider it a 2-mode flashlight is the other modes are just inconvenient to get to, and I'm probably never going to use it. But if you want to get to it, strobe warning, this does not have a strobe mode, but in order to get to it, you have to quadruple half press the tail switch before clicking it fully on. And so it does have a bit of a strobe effect while you're getting to that low mode. So again, just a half press 4 times or more, and then fully press once you hit that. And you'll see it kind of flashing in high, 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 and then it'll drop down to that low. And so here we have our low mode. It is obviously much lower output, but because of how you get there, I'll probably never end up using it, which is fine. I appreciate the simple operation of that high mode still. And there is no memory mode either, so even though we just left it in low mode, it goes right back into high mode when we turn it back on. So cool enough. It does have a reversible pocket clip on here, so you can go either direction there. It's not a 2-way pocket clip. If you want to flip it around, you just swap the positioning of the pocket clip itself. Again, this FDE, great. I think that's Flat Desert Earth, if you're not familiar with the acronym. But OD Green would be great as well, would even match our slingshot. Would be interesting to see if they have other colors of that slingshot. I'll definitely check out. I always check out all of the other Going Gear videos to see what everyone got. It's always the same items, but sometimes different variations. So as far as our standard goes, that rounds out our standard. We still have our premium item, of course, but for our standard, you pay $60. We got $114.89 in value. So excellent value. I also absolutely love the items. It's something completely different. We've never seen a slingshot in these boxes. We definitely see flashlights, but have never seen a slingshot in these boxes, so that's a little bit different. No knife, which I'm okay with. I think that might be a little bit of a downer. For some people who love knives, a lot of us love knives, probably the favorite item that comes in the box, but I'm okay with that trade-off because we got such a cool other item. Everyone's mileage is going to vary. Let me know what you think of the standard box in the comments, but let's check out the premium. And keep in mind, this was a replacement item, kind of a last-minute item, and so the premium item this month is the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Black G10 handles, S45VN blade, valued at $198.75. And so basically the full amount that we're paying, $200, and everything you get in the standard is just kind of an added value there. Now, the Paramilitary 2, Great item. It's kind of a quintessential knife that most people think everyone should own. It's in that kind of first 5 knives you buy maybe type of list. And so that's a little bit of a double-edged sword. I think it's great for people who don't own them, but at the same time, a lot of people are already going to own this knife, and it's kind of a basic configuration. I would imagine if this were a planned item, they probably would have went with like a Going Gear exclusive handle, or at least a different handle than you typically see, so that it's a little bit different for people that already have a paramilitary 2. Now, I am one of the people that already own a paramilitary 2, but I'm not particularly upset that this was in the box, because mine has custom shipwreck copper scales on it, and I've been wanting to change them out, but been hesitant to take off the shipwreck copper scales because I like those as well. And so this gives me the opportunity to do a brand new build. In fact, I already ordered some custom scales for this, as well as a milled pocket clip. The custom scales will delete the non-locked side liner on here. This is a compression lock, a bigger brother to the paramilitary 3, definitely a bigger knife. Definitely great action on here, as you saw with that compression lock, easy to thumb flick open. I would imagine probably pretty easy to spidey flick as well, although my middle knuckle's a little bit damaged. There's a cut there, but it's also sprained, so I can't flick it out very strong, and so not able to spidey flick this, but based off the thumb flick, I would imagine it's pretty easy. And again, that compression lock, drop shed action. So really, really great action on here. These are made in USA, $198.75. So I definitely don't mind seeing this in here, but like I said, I'm sure there's some people that are going to already have this that might be a little bit disappointed, but I think a great replacement item overall. And like I said, I already ordered replacement scales and a milled pocket clip for this, so it should be a pretty fun project for me, at least. Next time you see this, it will look very, very different. But when you add in that premium item, that brings our total for the box to $313.64, and we are paying $200, so a little over 150% in value, which is great, and all great items across the board. I think the only one that I could take it or leave it is the keychain, and like I said, that's kind of more of a throw-in than anything anyway. Would love to hear your thoughts on the overall box down in the comments below. Which was your favorite item, if there were any items you don't like. Always love the conversations around these boxes. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, or joining the channel as a member. They all help the channel out a ton, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.